Hi, it's Asoka Salvaraja here, and I want to wish you a very happy new year, first of all. Well, we're nearly 1 week into the new year, and I wonder how it's been going for you. Have you managed to stick to your aspirations, to your New Year's resolutions, or have they started to flag a bit? Well, we'll talk about that, and I'll hopefully give you some ideas and thoughts that could be useful to you. So let me start by saying I wish you every success for this year, and may all of your hopes, wishes and dreams and projects come true, and may you grow in wisdom and abundance and prosperity and all of those good things. So why do people start New Year's resolutions and quite often end up getting tired, fed up, and then giving up on them? Well, I think the problem is that they don't realize, and maybe you haven't realized if you started and you've experienced this, that really the human mind is a system. It's a complete system that is very, very sophisticated and very complex. And it works very much like an automatic pilot or a thermostat. So, you know, if you've got a thermostat and you adjust the temperature to a certain level, and if the temperature then veers away from that, either too high or too low, the system kicks in and it brings the temperature back to that same level that you set. Likewise, if you have an automatic pilot on an aeroplane, for example, or even on a boat, if you've got some kind of guided system there, if you veer away and you leave that system active, but you veer away in another direction, after a while, if you come back and look, you'll find you're in the same direction again. And that's essentially the problem people have when they are trying to make some dramatic change, but they haven't really changed the system within. And so they are trying to make some dramatic thing they think will make them better, but they haven't persuaded the subconscious that it in fact will be better for them. And so the subconscious, which is basically there to protect, at least one part of it, a large part of it is there to protect you from potential danger, and one of those big dangers could be radical change, will therefore act to bring you back in line. So what I'd like to suggest to you this year is that you consider, yes, working on those outward goals and projects to an extent, and to a large extent, but I'd like you to think about working much more this year on your system, on your inner system, on changing that, and thereby making external change more accessible and easy and possible for you. And so one good way to do that, there are many good ways, and I'm sure, you know, if you think about it and you do the work, you'll find all sorts of methodologies, and hopefully I will show you some myself this year. But one very good way you could do this would be to work on being much more present. Now, if you've been a student of Eckhart Tolle's work, you know that the power of now is basically the main and only thing he really teaches. The idea of being present and being focused in the now. And that is one way, one excellent way to work on changing the system, the thermostat. And an excellent way to practice the power of now and being present is through meditation. Because with meditation, you literally are calming the thoughts, calming the minds, and just not thinking of the past or the future, but just right now. Because at the end of the day, all you really have is now. And a lot of the goals, whether it be to lose weight or to make money or whatever, a lot of the goals and resolutions we set in the new year are always future-oriented. And yet we're really dealing in a fantasy, because the only future we really have, the only thing we really have rather, is right now. The future is a future version of now that hasn't happened yet, and the past is this whole load of nows that have gone by. All you really have is now. So that's one thing to focus on, I think, is try to change the system and try to focus on being more present, I would say. Another thing that would be very useful is if you are setting a goal, and you've probably heard this before, you need some kind of simple plan. There's no point just simply setting a New Year's resolution of saying, oh, well, I'll lose 20 pounds in weight, or I'll make an extra $20,000 this year, whatever it is going to be. If you really don't have any idea how you're going to do it, and you kind of start with a lot of enthusiasm, with the weight loss, you go to the gym and you do a whole lot of work, and then it gets tired, tiring and difficult and reality sets in and you don't really want to do it. And like I say, the old system hasn't adjusted to the new vision of you. And after a while, the thermostat reverts and you're back to normal. So you need some kind of simple plan with a few key points that you're going to achieve in the month of, say, January. And then you work on that plan and you review that plan and you find out where you're on target after having taken some action, and you find out where you've gone off target and you need to adjust and make a course correction. And really the whole story of achieving goals and achieving any kind of success or meaningful result in life is the study of setting an intention, moving towards that intention, and then making continuous course corrections back towards that original goal. So do review that plan. Another thing is that you should make your goal a must. It's something that you've got to achieve, not a should or it would be nice. If it's a should or it would be nice, it probably will never ever happen. And that's what is another obstacle and sticking point to people achieving their goals. Too often they should, so it would be nice, but I can live without it. If this was a must, if somebody held a gun to your head and said, you do this or else I pull the trigger, then it's a must and then you have to do it. So being a must means you would review it many times a day. Being a must would be you'd be critically compelled to see where you're at with it and to make whatever adjustments and changes need to be made in order to achieve that goal, because you know it's a must, you've got to do it. So you do assess what went wrong, you correct, and you continue. And that's really the key to making breakthroughs in your life. And if you think about it, when you think about the past and times when you have made some big change or some dramatic achievement has occurred, usually it was because some degree of compulsion, usually a very high degree of compulsion, was present, that you really had to do it. Otherwise, the consequences were drastic. So those are my thoughts to you. Another final parting thought is this. We talk about New Year and people rush to embrace a new year and New Year's resolutions and see it as a break from the past and a new start. And that's very nice and that's good. But I want to just leave you this thought, that you can have a new year anytime you want. In other words, you can reset the clock anytime in the year. You could do it 4 times a year if you want, in spring, summer, autumn and winter. You know, the first day of those you could use as your restarting point on your projects or goals. Anytime, actually, any time of any month, you can restart. You don't have to wait for a new year. So don't feel like, oh, well, 6 months have gone by, nothing's happened, I won't do anything now. You can always start again. And I just want you to really think about that any project you have, anything where you feel that you've been coasting for a while and you've kind of gone into a whole kind of, approach where you're not really getting anywhere and you can't see a way out of it, you can start again just like that. Don't need to wait till the 1st of January. Okay? So I hope this has been useful to you, and keep going, and I'll be in contact many times during the year, I hope, with all kinds of things. So again, I wish you a happy new year. This is Asoka Selvarajah, and we will talk again soon. Thank you.